Welcome to Let's Talk Sport and Sportskeeda for the build-up of Liverpool versus FC Porto in the UEFA Champions League. It's the first leg, so that means there's two chances for both teams to improve the scoreline and be on top after the second leg next week when, of course, both teams fly to Portugal. Joe Stanley is a Liverpool fan. Joe, I think on paper, Liverpool will be absolutely delighted to have got this tie because I must admit, as a United fan, when the draw was about to take place, I would say to colleagues of mine at Man U and say, look, I want Porto. If we want to get a semi-final place, Porto could be our best chance. But Joe, it certainly worked for Liverpool instead. Do you think they're the favourites then, Liverpool? Probably a daft question, but you just never know with any team that's in the quarterfinals.
Well, you never know with any team that's in the Champions League full stop, Jamie. But
Yeah.
I think on paper, you looked at it on paper and you looked at the draw and you thought the two teams really that you wanted were Ajax or Porto. No disrespect to them, but you're looking at Barcelona and you're thinking, not really. City are strong. Spurs have done all right in the Champions League this season. Those two getting each other is going to do good in the Liverpool in the Premier League because City will have one eye on that. And with Spurs and obviously City playing each other three times in the space of 2 weeks, that's going to hopefully help Liverpool in the title race. But we'll get onto that later. I think United drawing Barcelona, that's a difficult tie for them. But on to Liverpool, I think, yeah, obviously Liverpool beat Porto 5-0 over in Portugal last year. And then in second leg, they drew 0-0. They didn't really have to cut out second gear in the second leg because it was done and dusted in the first leg. It'd be a completely different game this time around because Porto are a stronger team. They brought in different players and they're a more cohesive unit this time. But I still think Liverpool on paper will be the favourites. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Liverpool fan as well. But you look at what we've achieved last year against them and then achieved so far in the league this year, and the fact that all right, we've not performed amazingly for our group in the Champions League, but we did put Bayern Munich to the sword in the last 16, and we should have got a 3-0 lead in the first leg, arguably. Some people might say, where have you got that from? But you had a few opportunities in the first leg where our players should have really scored. So you look at Porto are doing okay in their league as well. So it's going to be a difficult game, but as a Liverpool fan, I can only be optimistic.
I'm going to say because FC Porto are in the same situation as Liverpool, they're fighting. They're joint top with Benfica at the moment in their league, pretty much the same as Man City. Liverpool just 1 or 2 points between. But what's funny is that FC Porto have won the same amount of games, drawn the same amount of games, and lost the same amount of games as Benfica, and on the same points as well. And they've played the same amount of games, of course. So it's clearly very, very tight there. So for FC Porto, you look at the players like Corona, who's been amazing for them up front this season. Mexican player, I like my Mexican players, Joe. I love them. Look at how Jimenez for Wolves at the moment. He's just a beautiful player to watch. But then also there's Hector Herrera. He's got many assists for FC Porto this season. But you look at them, Corona, Herrera, and then you look at Suarez as well, who is a promising Brazilian player, even though he's 28. But he's shown it for FC Porto. It just shows that it's those kind of players that help FC Porto get this far.
Yeah, obviously they're all quality players, and not to mention at the back they've got the experienced header Pepe as well.
Yes,
So
that dirty man.
What's the bettings do you reckon on him getting a red card?
Oh, very much more than a favourite. You could probably bet your house on it, and he will get a red. Could happen.
Well, could happen. It's more likely than not, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Well, you were saying before this recording that he'll probably get advice from Sergio Ramos, his ex-Real Madrid teammate, of how to dislocate Mo Salah's shoulder again.
Well, those weren't quite the words he used, but yeah, it was along those lines, wasn't it? That he'd have Sergio Ramos's advice on how to deal with Mohamed Salah, and Ramos's advice would be dirty because last year we all know what he did in the Champions League final, and it was bang out of order. But
you still think you did it on purpose, didn't you?
Of course, he did it on purpose, but
I don't know.
You don't grab a player's arm like that and then throw him into the floor without meaning it on purpose. It's a judo move, mate. But should we just leave that in Kiev?
Kiev, not the chicken, the place. But I mean, what do Porto need to do to beat Liverpool? Because I just can't. I'm trying to think of scenarios here, Joe, but I just can't see Liverpool, ruining their chances. I just think Liverpool for them right now is a definite semi-final.
I think what Porto have got to do is just have a go. They've got nothing to lose at the end of the day. People don't see them as favourites, so I think they just got to come to Anfield and have a go and attack Liverpool. Well, not just at Anfield, over the two legs at the Estadio de Dragao. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, better,
Sorry,
better,
sorry if I
better
got it.
guess than mine, mate.
Sorry if I've got the name wrong. I apologise to the Porto fans if the name's wrong. But they've just got to come out and have a go and see if they can attack Liverpool. Because obviously Liverpool still got Joe Gomez out, so they're not on their first choice centre back. They've got Virgil van Dijk playing. Andrew Robertson suspended for the first leg, which is a massive blow for Liverpool. So it looks like they're either having to play James Milner or Alberto Moreno at left back. I think I'll stick with Millie for that one. No offence, Alberto, but come on.
Is he not a Barca player yet?
Not yet, but it'd be funny if they do sign him.
Oh my god, it'd be hilarious. But as well as that, FC Porto did beat Roma, and Roma were in the semi-finals last year. And as you know, Liverpool beat them to get to Kiev last season. Surely that's a sign towards Liverpool to be careful, because they took Roma to extra time at home, and then they came out on top and won. So just shows it can happen, especially when Liverpool surely need to just make sure FC Porto don't get any away goals, because Porto is not an easy place. No matter what team they've got, it is not an easy place. As a United fan, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I think, well, like you said, it's not an easy place, and they're not an easy team. I think, like you said, keep the scoreline, well, keep the away goals to 0. Don't concede any goals. I do see a goal in Porto though. That's the thing. I can see us going to Anfield and getting a goal this time. But
against Van Dijk's men, I don't know.
But it depends on how many goals we get. That's the main thing for Liverpool. I'm optimistic, and I can see Liverpool outscoring Porto massively. I think over the two legs, I think on the night it was 3-1 to Liverpool. I think in the second leg they'll obviously get another couple of goals to seal the deal, and hopefully set up a I nearly jumped the gun then. A semi-final against Barcelona or Manchester United.